Hey, hi, Peter Watts Retrospect. How you doing today? Uh, just look at this thing here. Look at this dial. I mean, look at this. This blows me away. Look at this. Look at this blue dial, the Sunray dial, and this Squale. We're going to talk about my Squale 1521 Ocean Blue in a polished case, and just look at that polished rehaut. Just look at that. It's just crazy. It gives the sense that the dial's like floating there. It's unbelievable. I just absolutely adore this dial, this watch in general. But anyway, we're going to talk about my Squale. Let's talk about the way the name's pronounced. Squale, I believe, is the correct way of saying it in French. And I believe in Italian it's Squalo. Now, the new owners, the Maggi family, took over Squale from Charles von Buren. They were his distributor in Italy. And I don't know the whole details how everything went down and Charles von Buren passed away or what, but it is now owned by the Maggi family, and they're Italian. And so it's a Swiss-made watch, and it's got some Italian roots. And I've heard people debate how you say the name. Everybody says Squale. I say Squale. And all I know, any video I've ever seen that involved the owner of the companies now, the Maggi family, or even Charles von Buren's daughter, they say Squale. So we're going with Squale. And if anybody doesn't like that, they can take it up with the guys in Italy. But this is a Squale 1521 Ocean Blue. And I just adore this watch. I really do. Quick history. There's a lot on the history of Squale. Charles von Buren, first in the very early 50s, was registered as Von Buren SA. And in 1959, he trademarked the Squale name. And in the very early 60s, he was making cases for other dive watch companies. I've seen the block ponds that are out there that actually have, block pond up top and then have the Squale shark logo down on the bottom. And so this was a renowned case maker in the early days. And then finally, I believe in about 62, he started making watches under the Squale name. So they have a rich dive history, definitely have a rich history. And Charles von Buren was very involved. He was an avid diver. And so this is made by a dive watch company. And to me, I always say about this watch, it's a dive watch. It's not a dive style watch. This watch is a 500-meter diver, and it is it's pretty much, it is I believe it pretty much is about 42 in the width, and it is about 48, a little over 48 lug to lug, and it's only going from the bottom of the case to the flat crystal. It's really only about 12.5 millimeters thick. These watches, when I bought it, they retailed for about $9.25. I got this from Mark at Long Island Watch, like a lot of my watches. Shout out to Mark over there. He's always been terrific. Now they just went up, and now they think they're close to $1,100. I think they're like $10.95 retail. So, such is the world today. Everything's going up. So I'm grateful I bought this when I did. But anyway, it does have a Sellita SW200, like many watches these days. And I've had great luck with it. This is pretty much, I don't know, it's about a 5 to 7 second a day watch. It runs a little bit fast, which is fine for me. I prefer my watches to run a little fast. It's very easy to just hack the movement and just wait for it to catch up. And I usually set them a little bit slow. So, that's usually good for about a 3-4 day window for me on these watches before I have to play with them again. But a lot about these watches. I just think that these things are just, I think it's the best blue dial out there. I don't know if there's a nicer blue dial, especially for the money, I mean, for $1,000 watch, I mean, just look at that. Let's look how the light and the sunburst works on that. And then the aluminum insert on the bezel, they did a really great job matching the color on it. And this it's probably hard to get it like this, but I mean, this thing it kind of can change dark blue almost. Maybe you can almost see it a little bit there. And it almost looks like a Bugatti blue from time to time, if you're familiar with the old Bugatti automobiles. And it's kind of a famous blue color that they use. But this watch here is, I talk about it many times. Haven't done a full-fledged thing on it, but I've used it. I've talked about it with some of my other Squales, and doing wrist checks, I've talked about it a lot. But the famous thing about this watch is these turn down on the lugs. Just look at this. This thing for a 500 meter hugs your wrist so well, fits so well. And even though it's a 42, I would say it's pretty close to fitting like a 40. It really is. They're very famous for having that crown in there at the 4 o'clock position. Some people complain about it, that it's hard to get to. You know, it takes a little, you have to learn it a little bit, but if you look at the back of it, you can see that the whole crown is exposed, so you can pretty easily get your hand back there. And I don't have any problem with it. You know, you got to figure out, but after a few times, you get it down. But it's such a unique looking case, the way these lugs turn down, and they kind of have this, on this side, it has that little flat in the middle. But this thing fits, again, I mean, we'll put it on in a little bit, but this is definitely one of my favorite watches. You know, I got a handful of blue divers. In fact, I got a couple of them on. Let's look at what I'm wearing just to get that out of the way. What I do have is I got my good old Kamasu, and that is in blue. You can kind of see the sunburst playing on that. It's almost like a cobalt blue when the light gets it. You know, aluminum bezel, but this is just an absolutely great watch for the money. I think this is one of the best budget divers. Depending who you buy it from, you can get it for anywhere from $200 to $300. If you buy it gray market, you can pick them up for $200. You can buy them direct from Orient for about $300, right out of the Los Angeles area. And over here, I got another great budget watch, and this is my Skurfa Diver 1, they call it. And I've always had problems with the lighting on this. It's very hard for me to get the right lighting. You can kind of see it's kind of got a vertical gradient to it. And it's a really neat watch. I mean, this is a 500 meter titanium watch made by Paul Skurfield out of England. It's a ma pa shop. Him and his wife run the company. The only problem with these watches, they're very hard to get. They are available once or twice a year, and they sell out within a day or two. So they're a little hard to get. You can find them on eBay, and they sell them over retail. These things, I believe, in U.S. dollars, they're about $270 or so. But another great watch. You should look at those. The Skurfa Diver 1, and again, that's a titanium. And if I didn't already mention it, it weighs 73 grams, and it's a 500 meter diver. But anyway, back to this one, Squale. They're more and more popular. I think there's a lot on YouTube. I think the Urban Gentry, he made these things. He seems like he made these very popular. I know when I started watching YouTube channels and watch things, I would listen to his videos about these watches. This was one of his favorite watches at the time. And Long Island Watch used to do a lot of things on these too, and he's a big distributor of these. And again, I got an email from him not a few weeks ago about the price going up, and sure enough, now these things are, like I said, close to $1,100. So not quite as good as a deal as they were, but still just an outstanding watch. Let's put it on here and take a look at it. Go from there. And I know it's the middle of winter here, but so we shouldn't be talking about so-called summer watches, but heck, I live in Southern California, so winter means here we endure 60, 70 degree afternoons, although it's been very wet here lately. But either way, I wear this watch all the time. I don't look at a watch like this and think, I'm just going to wear it on the summer, because I put this thing on my wrist almost every day. I love it so much. But let's put it on and see how it fits. And again, the way these lugs go, it's just an outstanding fitting watch. And again, especially if you consider it's a 500 meter diver. Just look at that. Just look at that. It's got, this is a non-cost certified. They now make this in a cost certified. And that watch, geez, before the price increase, was a retail about $1,600. And it's the same. It's got a Salida 200. It's just cost certified. And it actually has applied indices, very similar with the round indices, but they are applied with the lumen there. And this here, though, is all printed. It's got the double branding. It's got the Squale with the Von Buren crown at the top. And then on the bottom, they got the famous Squale shark. It says professional. You can't see it because the hour hand's in the way of it, but it says 50 Atmos because it is like I said, a 500-meter diver. This thing is just look at the way this fits. Look at this. I think it's outstanding. Now, when I got this thing, it came with this. Well, I'm going to call kind of a hideous. It came with a tan leather strap, and I just never liked it at all. So I actually had bought this. This is on a Zodiac accordion. Actually, the Zodiac. I have a Zodiac Seawolf, and I bought this rubber for my Zodiac because it had a 7-link bracelet that I just hated. So I bought this for that, but I couldn't stand the leather strap so much that this came on that I put it on my Squale. And then I later bought another one to put on my Zodiac. So I have 2 watches with this identical 20-millimeter accordion rubber diver strap. I love it. I think this watch just looks great on it. Absolutely. But if this thing just fits so good. And again, it's all about the polishing. Everything on it is polished. Everything. The rehaut. You see this rehaut here like this. Just look at that. And again, it kind of almost, at times, it almost makes the dial look like it's just floating in air. It's just fantastic. But these are great watches. Anybody, if you're thinking about one of these, don't hesitate. There's other great watches. The fact that these are over $1,000, almost $1,100 now, puts it maybe in a new category. And there's other good watches for this money, obviously. But when I got this thing, under for $925 way back, it just was, to me, what a great bargain. What a great bargain. But Squale 1521. This is what they call the ocean, or the ocean. I call it the ocean blue, and I think it's just an outstanding, beautiful watch for not a whole lot of money for what it is. And the company's got an incredible history in the dive history. Definitely was very instrumental in early dive watches, and again making cases for companies like Block Pond and I believe Hoyer and stuff, and many others. If you look it up on their like on Wikipedia, the different companies they made cases for. So it's all they do. It's all they do are dive watches. So if you're interested in a blue dial, now they make obviously different color dials and everything. They don't go crazy with their colors, but you can get these in black. You can get these in different finishes. Now, this is, again, the polished case. They make this in a beautiful blasted case. If you want to be a little bit more subdued, they have a blasted case that is really, really clean. And they also do make these. They make, although it's just a black dial, they make a really nice PVD-coated version of the 1521. I don't have any black watches in one of these days. I may consider theirs because it is. I hear it's really, really high quality as far as the PVD coating on it. But anyway, don't hesitate if you're looking at one of these watches. I really think they're fantastic. Anyway, this is Peter, Watch Retrospect. I really appreciate you stopping by. Any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them. If I know the answer, I'll get back to you. But hey, thanks for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.